Once again, we are off on another offshore adventure, this time on board the K8 Conquest. But today's video will be slightly different as half of it will be taking place at home. Please don't go yet, I have a really good reason for this, and the first thing is that I was really busy on the day. I had to guide Kingston on how it works offshore, what to do and stuff, and also I forgot to bring my GoPro mount. So it was really hard to record when my hands were filled with things to do. The second reason is because I want to talk about my learning experience with using a new kind of lure or rig, and that is the DOCAN snapper ball. DOCAN or DOCAN, I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna stick with DOCAN, okay? So the DOCAN or snapper ball is a new trend in the fishing scene, and as of now I know that there's two kinds of snapper ball type of deal. There's one from Storm, and which is the DOCAN, which is the one I'm holding right now, and I'll be mainly talking about this one because I used this one in my video. And there's another one from Cultivar. The reason why the DOCAN caught my eye was that I always wanted a lure to target a wide variety of reef species, but at the same time I'm a type of guy who likes to use really light tackle. So the DOCAN, they are not really heavy, and I think they are meant for light tackle usage, so it can be the lure that I always wanted. The day before I went offshore, I went to Sincere, and purchased the DOCAN to try it out. But there is one problem, and that was I had no idea how to use the DOCAN. So today I'll be sharing with you my learning experience with using the DOCAN in our local waters, and how I made it work for me. So before I share with you how I work the DOCAN, I'm gonna share with you how I rig the DOCAN. So first up, let me just open this box. There we go. So I'm just gonna talk about some flaws the DOCAN has that I found. The first thing is that this tube in the DOCAN, that tube comes off really easily, and especially if you're using 30-pound leader and you tie uni knot, the knot here will keep hitting the tube and eventually it'll come out. And what I realized is that without the tube, the line is like rubbing against the snapper ball itself, which will cause abrasion and it will cause the leader to fray, and we have to keep retying. So that's one flaw. The other flaw is that the hooks are super tiny. Look at that. And when I brought this offshore, everyone was like laughing at me at how tiny the hooks were, and we're talking about like, what are you trying to catch? And the last flaw, now this is like a really personal thing, I feel that the skirt itself isn't really enticing enough. I mean, it looks kind of like a Madai skirt, and you know how people use Madai with prawns, and I think it'll work well with this as well, but I didn't want to use any prawns for the DOCAN. I want to make it fully artificial. So here's how I fixed the following things. Now actually, in fact, the following things are kind of like my own personal opinion and perspective on the flaws of the DOCAN, so it's up to you whether you want to listen or not. I'm just going to start with how I fixed the tube not coming out. Now in the Fish on TV video that I watched, what I noticed that the leader they used were really thin. I think it was around 15 to 20 pound. They didn't specifically state it, but I don't think it continuously smashed the tube, so that's why it didn't really come out. And also what they did was they ensured that this wire part was snugly, oh look, it's coming out already, was tucked into the DOCAN. This whole thing, they wanted it to be like a set, like a Madai, and you have to keep on flowing. But to me, I feel that that's pointless, because what I see in this lure is to have it go out like a sliding sinker. But I'm gonna talk more about that later. Okay, I have to stop sidetracking. So yeah, how I fixed the problem of the tube coming out. Now first, let me just get a bead. This right here is a Lumo bead. You can buy this at tackle shops, and it's super cheap. There's like 40 pieces for like $2 or something. And what I did was I just added this in between the hook and the sliding and the DOCAN, and it really helped. After that, I stopped having the problem of the tube coming out, and yeah, it works. The second thing that I fixed was this thing not looking enticing enough. That's a personal opinion. So what I did was I added a curly tail rubber from Z-Man to the hook, and surprisingly the action looks a lot more better. So now you know how I rig the DOCAN. I'm now gonna talk about how I work the DOCAN. So the first thing was that I watched the Fish on TV video and observed how they work the DOCAN for a pinky snapper, and what I realized is that they were sticking to a technique which I stated earlier, where the DOCAN would just bounce like that, and their analogy was that if the fish takes, this would leave the DOCAN, and you would have direct connection to the fish, if I'm not wrong. I did use their technique. I stuck to the bouncing thing, and it did catch me a fish. It caught me the sand perch, if I'm not wrong. It looks like a sea bass, but it's a sand perch. But I didn't have any video of it because I was busy untangling my lines. So, but yeah, it shows that the technique also works in our local waters. So the second technique that I wanted to test was, there's this technique called the sliding sinker rig, which is essentially the DOCAN, but it's a much cheaper version. It's basically a bare hook with prawn and a sliding sinker, kind of like Conrad's ball rig. So what I wanted to do was to let the DOCAN, the tail of the DOCAN, leave and kind of act as a trailer, and slowly let it drift and look for fishes. So to emit this kind of action, what I did was I kept my reel at free spool, and I just kept feathering the spool, going up, down, letting a bit of line go, pressing the spool, holding tension, letting the letting the trailer leave the DOCAN and moving up and back and forth. And it did catch me a fish. It caught me a huge marine catfish. Check it out.
Hey guys, I was using the DOCAN with a small rubber and I got a big hit. Don't lie too much. I think this is legit. 鱼的东西孔啊！
哦，妈的，你好死！
Camera shy, the fish don't run. Wow, lan này quá xinh cô, nhìn nè. Wow, xinh cô. A nice marine catfish on the stone DOCAN. Wait, do you have a player?
So yeah, that catfish was caught on the DOCAN, and it proves that the DOCAN, the DOCAN works. And sadly after that, I lost the DOCAN. That's why I bought a new one here. And that was my experience of using it offshore. For the price, I feel it's a little bit expensive, like $10 for a DOCAN. It's around the same price as like a 10-ya. But it's still quite a fun lure to use and try offshore. So yeah, if you want to purchase it, you can just go to the link down below to see where you can purchase it. So yeah, that's it for the DOCAN portion.
Wow.
Nice one, Kingston. You thought you could do someone's
Yeah.
but you finally got a fish. Nice.
guys, I said Aaron, this is why I cannot sell in Kingston. Sean Kingston with a Tibun. Nice. Okay, I get some pictures.
And then after that, in the evening, you know, I was noticing like Kingston, he wasn't catching much fish, and I was micro jigging. But I was micro jigging off the bottom as well to see whether I'm lucky enough to hit maybe like a 2-3 kilo grouper. So that was when I hooked into something, and I immediately passed the rod to Kingston to let him fight the fish. But Kingston is inexperienced, and I didn't know that the fish was that huge as well. So what happened was the fish immediately took advantage and ran straight into a rock. The fish was snagged. So Kelvin, the captain, told me to release my spool while he drove the boat to where the fish was, and I had to try to make the fish come out from the hole. But I just basically kept hitting the rock bar and seeing whether that weird sensation would make the grouper come out from the hole. And in 3 minutes, it did come out. And boy, it was quite a big grouper for a light jigging setup.
Vandals 出线，闷多点，收得很线啊。好北京哦。OK。哇！怎么样？哇！ Good job! Good job!
Okay, there guys. Nice. Oh, 12 pound Southern Island B9 grouper. Woo!
So yeah, after that, Kunta once again, he jigged for the whole day. He lost a ton of jigs. He also managed to catch a huge grouper. So yeah, we had a fun day offshore. I hope you guys learned a thing or two about the DOCAN snapper ball thing, and also I hope you enjoyed this video. Do follow our socials. Do follow our socials at facepalmfishing on Instagram and facepalmfishing on Facebook for more updates. We update Instagram almost daily with Insta stories of what's going on and stuff. So yeah, do check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.